Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Steve. Today we want to go ahead and talk about self-harvesting Red Russian Kale seeds. This will be the same for any kale, maybe even for any brassica, but today this is what we have to work with. So, to give you a little bit about the plants we're going to be working with here, I grew these in containers last year. I planted them from seed last spring. I grew them out through the year. I let them overwinter. I harvested it again, leaves again this spring, and then they eventually went and bolted, and I let them go ahead and finish up flowering and going to seed so I could self-harvest. So a little bit about Red Russian Kale. The Red Russian Kale is originally from Siberia. It was brought over to Canada in 1885 by some Russian traders, and it's been over here in North America since. It's one of the hardiest and most tender of all kales, and it has you see these are just small leaves when it was going through its flowering, but when it was in regular leafed out, they were larger leaves. But they're a beautiful, really purple-veined, blue-grain leaf. Kind of resembles a bit of an oak leaf, kind of a red oak leaf. But really, really excellent flavor, excellent nutrients. It's one of my favorites. So I want to go ahead and save some seeds, share some, and keep some for our future garden. So it's also more tender. The kale leaves, a lot of kales, are more tender after that first frost also. So you can, this is a full, you can get this fully through a number of different seasons. It's not just a spring or summer crop. So I had no problems with it bolting last summer during the heat. And actually, it's just this spring it kind of went on its own. I had it in a grow house and it got really hot in there and it bolted. So I don't know if it was bolting because of that heat or it was just bolting because it's gone through its cycle. It went through a winter cycle and it's ready to set seed. So I think that's more the latter. So enough about that. Next I want to go ahead and talk about how we're going to harvest these seeds and what all takes place. So once they start to bolt, the plant, when it was running normal, even in a container, right, 3 per container, and they would be about this tall, and the leaves would be out, and then eventually it bolted, and then you get little yellow flowers, and we don't see any flowers in bloom right now. They're all pretty much done. But you'll see those once they get pollinated, they'll develop into these little green pods, and these are kind of short. We see some of the longer ones here that are already dry. I'm going to pull one of those off. And that's what a seed pod looks like. It almost looks like a green bean. So, and inside of there, a little divider wall, and there's a number of seeds. They almost look like a large poppy seed almost. Small round seeds of varying sizes. They're black when they're ripe. They're green when they're not. And we see that with the pods as well. If we were to take one of these small pods and open it up, it'd be a bit moist and it's not ready yet. So what we do is we let them go until they dry and then go through with a pair of sharp scissors and cut them off because they're really brittle and they'll open up on their own and they'll drop their own seeds. They'll self-seed wherever they're at, which can be good. But here's an example. I waited a little long to make this video, and you see here there's a number of them have already dropped their seeds. There's one big pod on there that's still closed, but there's a lot of lost opportunity there. So what I'll do is I'll just go through, and I like to do this indoors. It's a beautiful day, but I want to be out of the wind to do this because the seeds are so small. I'll just cut those pods off. There's another one here. Yeah, I'll just cut them off with the scissors. I put them onto a plate. I like to use a nice white plate or a nice light color. Makes it easy to work with. So, and I won't show you the whole thing here, but I'll just kind of give you an idea of what we're doing. And then you just take these and you just kind of twist them. Like I said, when they're dry, they open up and the seeds fall right out. And they'll be in 2 rows. There'll be 2 sides. There'll be a little divider thing across the middle, you see there, and then the seeds are on both sides of that pod. So. And that's what I'll do. I'll go through and harvest them all, kind of pull out any chaff that we have in there, and then I'll put them in a container. Once I transfer them to the container, I'll leave the container open up on the windowsill or up on on the counter and kind of let things dry out in case there's any extra moisture in there before I close them up. But that's pretty much all there is to it. So we've got some good seeds. I'll get those individually packaged. I'm going to be giving some to some friends, and then I have some that we'll be saving for ourselves. I'll get those noted and get those in packets and put them in the seed vault. So that's what we have today. Those Red Russian Kale seed saving, and like I said, I mentioned it would be the same for any of the brassicas. But it's a great way to continue growing what you already have, as well as bringing new things in that you can't necessarily get right in the stores. And saving seeds is a great practice. It helps you acclimatize seeds to your environment, and that's something. Get the first harvest seeds, mark that plant, and then continue to harvest that, and you can kind of get your own heirloom based on your own environment, your own soil conditions and environmental factors. So that's all I have for you here today in this video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate that. And if you wouldn't mind, if you're interested in these type of videos, I've got plenty more coming. So please subscribe down below. This would be a great time. And then also, if you like this, I'd really appreciate it if you can either like it or share it off on Facebook or something like that to share with your friends. That would be much appreciated. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them below, or you can send me a PM either way. And I thank you and take care.